It's said that more people likely know him outside the state than the hundreds who know him around South Carolina. His popularity is not only due to the success of his farming operation, it's also because of his generosity, his leadership, and his determination to get the job done. Othniel H. Wienges, Jr. of St. Matthews was born the son of a farmer on December 27, 1924. He's followed in his namesake's footsteps. He and his dad were both named after a victorious judge in the Bible who brought peace to Israel after a long period of unrest. Othniel has been victorious in agribusiness and in other aspects of his life. His family settled the Calhoun County farm known as the Singleton Plantation more than 100 years ago. And while he has been successful in many pursuits in life, Othniel has a humble sense of pride about being known as a farmer.
Well, I think farmers tend to keep their head screwed on right and not get excited. Don't get too excited or too disappointed. And the farming makes you realize how dependent you are on the good Lord. And in the long run, he decides a whole lot of things for us.
The list of Othniel's civic involvement, leadership, and accomplishments reads like a who's who encyclopedia. He's received the state's highest civilian honor, the Order of the Palmetto. He's been named Man of the Year by several organizations. He was recently named Distinguished Alumnus of his alma mater, the same school that has honored him with a doctorate degree. He spent a decade as a public servant in the South Carolina House of Representatives, and that's just to name a few of the positions he's held. The Singleton Plantation is still an active farm, run by Othniel and his son John, who tends to the row crops while his dad tends to the horse business. Together they produce cotton, coastal Bermuda, and peanuts, which now takes the place of the soybeans they used to grow. And of course, horses. Quality thoroughbred horses raised for racing and for winning.
You know, when you have a horse and a man putting their talents together, the communication between the two can be very difficult. You run a race and you want a horse to not have anything left. You want to use up what wind and energy you have, you know. But on the other hand, if you use it too soon, you give out and the horse falters. So it's very difficult. And this horse, Double Chance, he thought if he ever got his head in front, that's all he was supposed to do. So you had to wait until the very last minute to ask him to run and get ahead. And sometimes you would wait too long, you know. He couldn't quite get there. And but anyway, he was a conundrum. We had, everybody loved him, and he raced for 4 or 5 years.
Over his lifetime, Othniel Wienges has bred more than 300 horses that have won more than 2,700 races and placed or showed in more than 5,200 more, racking up a total winnings of more than $17 million.
But we've had, over the years, we hadn't done as well racing as we hoped to do, but we've done a whole lot better than we ever expected to do. And we've had some very nice horses.
The quality of the Wienges horses and their winning record combined to earn him numerous top national honors from the Thoroughbred Owners Breeders Association. Othniel pursued other interests briefly, interests like earning a degree in English from the University of South Carolina in 1947, where he also served in the Naval ROTC program. It's said that Othniel once turned down a job offer after college that would have had him writing for a New York newspaper, but that would have kept him from his love of the land, his love of horses, and kept him from pursuing his bride.
I tell her I came back out of the Navy to Carolina and found the love of my life there. It's a funny thing though, 4 or 5 other boys found her to be the love of their lives too. So I had a somewhat difficult time acquiring all of her affections.
Othniel is a decorated Navy veteran. He served as commander of a ship in World War II, which caused him to see a lot of action in the Pacific Theater. It was a leadership position which taught him a true sense of accomplishment and service.
Being in command of a United States ship during the war gave me a feeling that I never had before. I don't think I could have again. It gives you a feeling of accomplishment.
Othniel used those leadership skills as he led the charge to secure funds for building a grain export facility on South Carolina's coast. In 1962, he and a handful of other farmers, each members of the Farm Bureau's Small Grains and Soybean Committee, raised $100,000 in less than 30 days, and an additional $150,000 soon afterwards from their peers as operating capital for the Marketing Association to take over the Charleston grain elevator from the state.
Having played a part in the establishment of this grain elevator, export elevator, that helped so many farmers, so many years, that also gives you a feeling of accomplishment. Like we got together and we moved the mountain.
Not only did Othniel Wienges use his leadership skills to raise money from fellow farmers, he also used his prowess as a state representative to convince the General Assembly to kick in an additional $1 million to expand the grain export facility soon after it was built. Othniel is the only remaining founding member on the Marketing Association Board of Directors. Othniel Wienges never missed an opportunity to educate others on the needs of South Carolina farmers. He also never missed an opportunity to help educate others in a broader sense. He co-sponsored legislation creating Orangeburg Calhoun Technical College, and he's the most tenured member of the University of South Carolina Board of Trustees, with 30 years of continuous service. It's a position that has placed him in the company of people like the Pope and a host of other world and national leaders and celebrities. Our Distinguished Service Award recipient is also a quiet and generous leader in the lives of hundreds of young people, helping them earn scholarships and job placement so they can attend college. Othniel Wienges has been able to help others because of horsepower. He's harnessed it over the years. He has an eye for quality, an eye that has long been trained on the Farm Bureau organization as a place for making things happen for South Carolina farmers.
Well, I shudder to think of life on the farm without Farm Bureau. We always got that protective screen out there. Somebody, horses in the wild, the good Lord made them to graze on the grassland. And they do, and if you notice them, you go down in the pasture now and look, they won't scatter it out. They'll be in a little bunch eating there. Well, I feel like that, those horses, I feel like Farm Bureau's looking out on every side all the time. And when we do something, we do it together.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the winner of the 2005 Farm Bureau Distinguished Service Award, Mr. Othniel H. Wienges, Jr.